All right, we're going to call the November 13th Planning Commission meeting to order at 6:03. Wow. Yeah, I know. Roll call.
Commissioner Northcross.
Present.
Commissioner Jackson.
Present.
Commissioner McGinnis.
Present.
Commissioner Shepard.
Present.
Commissioner Chair Sinclair.
Present.
Commissioner Duval emailed me late in the afternoon saying she had an issue with a client, so will not be here, due to work. But we do have a quorum.
Did they get you? Oh. Do we have any official communications?
No.
Do I hear any amendments to the agenda?
I saw one, Madam Chair, when I was reviewing the packet previously, so I'm sorry I don't have it handy, but a resident that spoke, excuse me.
You're talking about minutes?
Yes. Oh,
We're
I'm
not
sorry,
on
am I
minutes yet.
skipping? All right, I'll stop.
Thank you. Any amendments to the agenda? Hearing none, do I hear a motion do we need a motion to approve the agenda? Do I hear a motion to approve the agenda as noted, or as written?
Moved by McGinnis.
Support by Northcross.
All right. Roll call.
Commissioner McGinnis.
Yes.
Commissioner Shepard.
Yes.
Commissioner Northcross.
Yes.
Vice Chair Jackson.
Yes.
And Chair Sinclair.
Yes.
Motion passed.
Do I hear approval of the minutes? Do we have any amendments to the minutes?
I have two corrections, Madam Chair.
You have the floor.
Page 4, halfway through, it's describing public hearing, and one of the residents that spoke, Carlton Jones, his first name is spelled Carlton. So there's an extra letter in the spelling of his first name. And then on page 8 of 10, there is similarly a first name spelling error, I believe, for Rosalind Northcross, the sweetheart of Commissioner Northcross. And I believe her first name, and he can confirm, is Roselyn. Is that correct?
That is correct.
So
And
the
and
minutes.
it's also misspelled on page 6.
Oh, thank you.
6
Okay.
of 10, where they were consistent.
Okay.
And the address is Astorwood, all one word, ASTORWOOD.
Okay. Yeah, so her first name in both pages 6 and 8 should be Roselyn, and then their street is Astorwood, not Astor. And then I notice in that page 6 is a repetition of the Carlton Jones first name misspelling as well.
I will correct those for the minutes, and thank you. When Rosalind said her name, I wasn't sure, and I meant to reach out to you and see if you were related. Thank you.
Do I hear a motion to approve the meeting minutes as noted?
So moved?
With them, as noted.
So moved.
Support.
Roll call.
Commissioner Northcross.
Yes, yes to approve.
Commissioner Shepard.
Yes to approve.
Commissioner McGinnis.
Yes, to approve.
Vice Chair Jackson.
Yes to approve.
Chair Sinclair.
Yes to approve?
Motion passed.
Point of order right quick. Door is locked again. Can we have?
I know how to
someone
unlock
who's
it, so I'll try and permanently solve it.
Thank you. That would be better than the jimmying we
Should
did.
we, Should we delay the meeting for a second?
Yes. Do we need a motion for that?
No, just call it 2 minute.
Yes, we do need a motion.
I make a motion, we take a no more than a 10-minute recess.
Approved. Support.
Motion by Norcross, approval by Jackson.
Jackson. Okay. Commissioner Northcross.
Yes.
Commissioner Shepard.
Yes.
Vice Chair Jackson.
Yes.
And Chair Sinclair.
Yes, to
Okay,
approve.
motion passed.
Where do you live? Where do you live? Ortonville? Do you know where there's Beakies? Beakies? It looks like Boucher's or something like that. It's on Oakwood and
Of course.
Oakwood and Beakies? It's a grocery store. Do you know where the Ace Hardware is? On Oakwood and 24?
So,
Yeah, Ace is 24.
so
My sister owns that. Really? I did. What? No, the Ace. Yeah. My dad had a house out on Cranberry Lake. You know where that is? Gosh, what road was it? Yeah, he had 10 acres on a lake. Actually, no, closer to 11.
Probably send you pictures of it. Because I've flown that over.
I have aerial photos of it.
I mean, but I fly
What?
paraglide.
Oh,
I fly all over the area.
yeah, he had someone take aerial photos of it, so. Yeah, but he's gone now, so.
I make a motion that we restart our meeting.
second.
Motion by Norcross, support by Jackson. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Do we have any special presentations?
None from staff.
Okay, our next item is going to be public comment for items not on the agenda. You will have 2 minutes to speak. State your name and address for the record. And before we start, I'm going to take privilege and just for public comment, say congratulations to our Commissioner Jackson on your successful election for the District 1 City Council seat. And of course, our City Council President and Commissioner McGinnis, congratulations on your campaign for mayor. Congratulations. Thank you. So if anyone wants to speak at public comment, I'm going to open it up at 6:12. Ms. Clark, nothing? Put me out of my misery. Thank you. All right, seeing none, we'll close public comment. Going on to old business. Application number PSEP 24-008. Coming to us for an extension request of their special exception permit.
Okay, I'm going to have to operate the laptop from over here because none of the remotes work, so give me a second to get ready here.
Okay?
Okay, so the case is FSPR 25-005, you may notice we're renumbering so that we specify between preliminary and final site plan review. So this is a final
Michael,
site plan review.
Michael?
Yes.
We have an item on the agenda before this one.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's
Which
okay.
one?
Oak shelters?
The extension. So I had planned on being the one to speak on this. Commissioners, this is pretty self-explanatory. Per section 6.302I of our zoning ordinance, special exceptions are only good for a period of a year. This application that we're referencing, the SCP 24008, did have a preliminary site plan application that was part of it, which was also approved, but the final site plan application was approved approximately 2 months after that. So the site plan is yet to expire. However, the special exception permit has expired. The applicant did provide a letter to me prior to the expiration date, which you can see in your packet. They're asking for 180-day extension, as is outlined in the ordinance. They do anticipate that they're going to make a building permit submittal prior to the expiration of the final site plan. So they only need an extension for the special exception.
Thank you. Between the preliminary, oh, you might not know because you weren't here. I was just gonna ask what the changes were, if any significant, if there were any significant changes between the preliminary site plan and the final site plan. Do you know by any chance?
I do not.
Okay, thank you. We don't have an applicant here, correct?
Correct.
They have submitted a request or letter in writing, so the
Right.
letter speaks for them.
At this time, do we have any questions from commissioners? McGinnis?
Well, for the community's benefit, one item that the interim executive director and CEO identifies is that their site property, they've learned, was a dry cleaner business approximately a century ago. And so with the state's Department of Environmental, Great Lakes, and Energy, EGLE, that they have to pursue a further study of the condition of the soil because, as you may know, dry cleaning businesses over the generations can be a very intense use and have toxic materials if not remediated. So that's one reason they've identified, and that they have also had a leadership change at the organization, that who submitted this proposal and application is no longer the executive director. So I just wanted to highlight that. That's noteworthy for this commission, but also for the community's reference.
Commissioner Shepherd? I'm sorry, Commissioner McGinnis, were you done?
Oh, I'm all set. Thank you.
Okay. Commissioner Jackson?
I'm all set.
Commissioner Norcross?
Well, I still have the same objection today that I had originally when this came on the floor, that I feel the facility is badly needed, and it will be, something that the whole population, I think, can start to benefit from. However, the location still drives me up the wall. That Baldwin corridor, I think is really stressing that area, and I don't think the location of the facility is proper. So I still have those same objections that I had originally.
Thank you, Commissioner Norcross. At this time, I'm going to open it up for public comment at 6:18. I have to do that. Ms. Clark, did you have any public comment for this? Was that a no? Okay. At this time, I'm going to close public comment. Do we hear, I'm going to guess that we don't have any further discussion from commissioners based on what you've said now. Do I hear a motion?
I'm willing to make a motion, and I welcome the city attorneys to correct me if the phrasing needs modification. I move to approve the extension request of the special exception permit for PSEP 24-008, located at 283 Baldwin Avenue.
Support.
And I believe the extension request is already explicitly identified by length, but would you like me to state? And to, all right, so that motion is for a 180-day period of that extension request. Does that still stand with your second? Okay. Thank you.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Northcross,
No.
Commissioner McGinnis,
Yes to approve.
Commissioner Shepard,
Yes to approve.
Vice Chair Jackson,
Yes to approve.
and Chair Sinclair.
Yes to approve. Motion passes.
Motion passed 4-1.
Our next item on the agenda is final site plan approval for 25-005, which is 41 East Walton, cannabis retailer. Presentation by Michael Betcher.
My apologies for my overenthusiasm previously. So this is a final site plan application, final site plan review for a excuse me, adult use marijuana retailer use at 41 East Walton. So the Planning Commission, you had seen this already and granted special exception permit and preliminary site plan review approval at the October 1st regular meeting. The site is within the Walton Boulevard Adult Use Marijuana Overlay District and is zoned C3, which is appropriate. One of the conditions of approval was reappearing at Planning Commission for the body itself to do to grant the approval, which is usually done administratively. And I'll go through each of the conditions. A little bit of background, which you're familiar with already. It's a 3,200 approximately square foot building in the middle of a parcel with parking on both sides. On the north side of Walton, just east of Baldwin there, in the middle of a commercial strip, again, all zoned C3. So it's an appropriate use for that location. Here is the site plan that was included with the final site plan approval, site plan review application. So the building, sits in the middle of the property there with parking lots on both sides. One thing I'll bring up in a moment, take a look at the upper edge of the property, the north end of it. The northeast corner has at least 10 feet of landscaping there. The northwest corner has 5 feet or so, give or take. That'll come up as we're going through the conditions. So there were 9 conditions altogether, and if anyone's just listening to the audio, I'll go through them really quickly. 9 conditions of approval from the October 1st, 2025 meeting. That color elevation drawings are included, that the building conforms to transparency requirements. We needed an updated photometric plan with lighting information, light levels, things like that. All the required information was included for proposed landscaping. There's a retaining wall at the rear of the property, and we needed to see elevations and material and dimension information on that. We needed a rooftop screening details for the rooftop HVAC equipment, and a generator as well. We required an on-site generator per the ordinance, and so that's included. You'll see an odor management plan, and number 9 again being the final condition being reappearing at the Planning Commission for your final approval. So I'll go through them one by one, but some of them are kind of doubled up like this. So color elevations are included, and here is a drawing of the facade as proposed. The new submission, they meet the requirements for the minimum transparency per the ordinance, but they've proposed frosted glass. So it's not transparent as the zoning ordinance requires. And so that's under condition number 2. Now, so we got the colored elevations, which is great, and they meet the minimum glazing requirement. The applicant is saying that state requirements mandate that there's no product visible, that basically you can't see inside. But inside the facade are basically, if you could walk right through the facade, you're walking into an office and a waiting room, which don't require, where you wouldn't normally find product anyway. So it's possible to, to make that transparent glass for those spaces specifically. So the applicant was asking for a waiver or reduction of the transparency requirement, but the zoning ordinance doesn't permit Planning Commission to offer that. So we're recommending that the transparent glazing is required, that it be included. Number 3, we have the updated and compliant photometric and lighting information, so that standard's been met. Number 4, a couple things regarding landscaping. The drawing that you see there, I circled the loading dock area that they have sort of at the northeast corner of the property. Loading docks are required to be screened by masonry walls, but that small space is fairly hemmed in on the site. They may not be able to get trucks, in and out of that location easily. So staff is recommending, as the Planning Commission can do, a waiver for the screening of the loading dock specifically. The site is fairly screened with the building very close on one side, with the landscaping to the north that screens it from the residential area across the alley to the north. And then to the east is another commercial use, and essentially the building on that site turns its back to this site anyway. So, so there really isn't any sort of visibility issue with the loading dock here. So condition 5, retaining the wall at the rear and providing information on that. In the preliminary site plan review application that we received, there is a retaining wall at the northwest corner of the property. So between the building and the west rear property line is a retaining wall, and the applicant was planning to maintain that. So we needed to see, what that was about, the height, the materials, and things like that. Upon returning for final site plan approval, that was replaced by a proposed black aluminum fence. So that could potentially put them out of compliance with Section 4.405, which mandates, landscaping requirements. There are a couple options that they have to come into compliance. One, retain the wall, and again, give us the information on that so we have that, so we know that the wall meets current ordinance standards. Or add a minimum depth of landscaping so that they have at least 10 feet of landscape space, as would be required with a fence instead of a wall. And that's in Section 4.405 as well. So they can either do 5 feet of landscaping at that rear corner with a wall, or 10 feet with a fence. And to meet the planting requirements, add 2 shrubs to that as well. So either one of those will put the application into compliance, and staff is suggesting that whichever of those 2 ways that the applicant would like to go, that the commission approves that, and we'll let the applicant address that. Rooftop screening details. We haven't received drawings to show exactly what they're going to look like, the materials or that kind of thing yet, but. For condition number 8, they have included a generator in their most recent plans, and so the rooftop screening is going to include both the existing HVAC equipment and the new generator that'll be on the roof. So we find that that's been met. Regarding condition 7, the odor management plan, in writing, they've stated that all of the product that they sell will come and be sold prepackaged. Some shops have sort of raw material that they can kind of open up and repackage, putting their own name on it, that kind of thing. This retailer will not be doing that, that it all comes totally packaged and goes out the door that way as well. So there's no, no product that will be exposed to the air, and no odor emanating from that. So that condition's been met, and condition number 9, of course, being returning to the Planning Commission. That's why we're talking about this. So that one's met as well. So staff is recommending approval, but again, still with a couple couple sort of outstanding items here. Enforce the transparency requirements. We're requesting that, or recommending that the Planning Commission enforce the transparency requirement, grant the waiver for screening of the the loading zone, and accept the applicant agreeing to one of the two options to keep them in compliance with the landscaping requirements. And then we have 3 sample motions here to approve, deny, or postpone.
Thank you. Would the applicant like to come up to the mic, state your name and address for the record?
What's that? Yeah.
How you doing? Eric Clark on behalf of Capwald Lake. All right, so let's just walk through a couple of these real quick. No, the one that was right before that last slide, please. Thanks, man. Yep, perfect. All right, so I just want to start first with the transparency requirements, because I think that's very important. So I came to you guys last meeting, and I said, okay, we didn't have this, so let's add this and let's conform. I sat here and spoke about safety and building safety and making sure that we have, a building of least resistance. Unfortunately, actually 2 days after that meeting, in the middle of the night, our Hamtramck store, which is the only store that has this other transparency issue in the front, was broken in those windows for the 7th time since we've opened that store. So we are here to comply with the requirements. I just have to sit here and ask, one last time that I believe what's best is to have the building fully secure with faux windows that look and play the part of the transparency to keep the building safe on the inside, so we don't have to bother your police department, we don't have to bother your fire department, and we don't have those calls. Without that, I'm more than happy to comply and put windows in there. But I just have to be very honest and open with the issues that we have with that as a business. In regards to the back of the building and the screening, I think it's very important that we understand what the back of the building looks like today. So if you guys are okay, I actually took a video when I was just there. Do you mind if I pull up and show it to you guys real quick? I think it's very important to understand the back of that building.
How are you gonna do it? You're gonna try to?
I don't know if that will let me.
To the chair, I wouldn't know how to connect those, and I don't think we have the equipment here with us.
Maybe after your comments, we can pass your phone down and we
Okay.
can look.
Yep, that's fine. So when you go to look at, when I show you this, and again, I know we ran into some issues of trying to meet on the site, but when you go to the back of the building, that alley, which I believe is an alley, I mean, you'll see it in a second, it has more trees, more plants, more garbage, more TVs than anything you can imagine. So it is not an alley, and that needs to be cleaned up, which is something that we'll probably end up doing as a community benefit. But when you're on the west side of the building and you go towards the end of our parcel line, there is roughly an 8-foot drop to that alley. So it is not, street level. When you go back over to the east side of the building, you have about a 5-foot drop. So it's very unique back there. So when we talk about this masonry screening, we're then creating a wall, right, that is,
Can I stop you for a second?
Yeah.
The only reason why I'm stopping you is I want to fully understand what you're talking about, because I noticed on your drawings that your north arrow is in 2 different directions on the drawings in your package. So when you say east and west, can you maybe state the back of the property is north,
Correct.
Walton is south,
Yep.
and the auto parts place is to the west?
Correct.
So just, I want to
Sorry.
make sure that
Okay.
we're looking at the same
Yeah,
thing.
yeah. Is it cool if I walk over there, or do you need me here? I guess you can see it.
You can,
Yeah, all right, you can see it.
yeah.
We don't have a working pointer, my apologies.
All right, so on the,
So possibly say
yeah,
the top
perfect.
left
Yep,
hand
got you.
corner.
So top left, okay, where you see the shrubs in the back. At the back of that right there, there's an 8-foot drop to the alley.
Okay,
On the other side of the building, so now we're on the east side, there's a 5-foot drop from the parking lot. So, when we and again, when you go to the site today, you'll see that there's new there's new curbs put in place for the updated landscaping that was put in place when these guys went through this on the background for the medical position. So I don't know what happened there, I wasn't involved. But now what we're trying to do is we're trying to keep that how it is, right? So what Mike is saying, and what I think I'm hearing, is if I go with the fence, which he's okay with, I have to increase my landscape material. If I increase my landscape material, I'm gonna possibly lose that one parking spot, okay? And again, when you look at the site today and the amount of landscaping that I'm adding there, I believe we're doing more than enough with, visibility, beautification, and also protecting the means of in my opinion, protecting the means of the screening with the fence properly. I believe that the aluminum fence that we have provided is what's the right word? I want to use the word like aesthetically pleasing than a masonry wall. We have other facilities that originally the city's required masonry wall, then they asked us to do this type of screening. Even around our dumpster enclosures, they've moved away from masonry walls and moved forward with aluminum screening. So those are really the two positions that I'm here to really fight for, but I'm here to do whatever, of course, stay in compliance with whatever you guys are asking us for. But those are the two things that I think we really just need to hit home on.
Questions from commissioners? Commissioner McGinnis,
None at this time?
Commissioner Shepard.
Can you explain, Eric, what your windows are? Like what, the way you presented, the frosted, is it a real window that the
Yeah,
frosting
so
can come off?
right now, the way that it's proposed is that can be a real window, that can be frosted, it can be fully transparent, or what we're doing at our Hamtramck store today, because of this issue, is we're putting in faux windows. So we are putting in masonry behind it and keeping the spirit of the ordinance alive with the windows, but the transparency is not what's there.
Because if I understand, you're only allowed 40%, is that what it is with the state? So our ordinance is kind of going against what the state's telling you can do, is that right?
The state doesn't really have a say in that. It's more related to what each community would allow.
Okay.
There
I
are
thought
stores
was
that
a
have no
limit, so you
windows.
couldn't see in the
But,
windows.
so I think it's more of it's the seeing in.
Oh,
So
so
when I
it's
was
not
here,
the windows, it's the
Right.
fact that you can't see in.
right. So when I was here last time, though, Chris made a comment that, hey, some of these check-ins or check-in areas are visible from the street. Craig will tell you firsthand, being an attorney with 50, 60 cannabis clients, the CRA is reaching out to fix those today. So again, we're there to do it, but I have to give you the juice of what we're.
So when your Hamtramck one gets broken into,
Yep.
are they driving through the windows?
They are pulling up, and they are taking rocks through, they are taking anything through, and they are jumping in and jumping out as fast as lightning. And what's crazy about it, guys, is, and again, I don't know if any of you have been in my store, but there's not that much product on the sales floor. We're very secure. We keep everything in the back of the house, especially at night. So when this is happening, we don't know what they're coming in for, but
It's not gonna happen in Pontiac.
we've spent, we've spent almost $120,000 since 2020 on that property fixing that window.
So as aesthetically, and how I would think about it is that having faux windows with brick behind it it's a waste of everybody's time and money and everything else. So, and I'm not talking about the theft issue right now,
Yeah.
but if you had real windows that, let's say in 5-10 years down the road, you're gone, and somebody else can pull that off and they can have that beautiful window in the front.
window, yeah.
So
That doesn't stop the break-ins.
it doesn't stop the break-ins. Double pane windows are really hard to, unless you're driving through them, which I'm assuming they are, but I don't think we get a lot of that around here. I've hit them with sledgehammers before
I'm
on
just here
some
to
of
be
the buildings.
vocal on what's
that bounces
happening,
off.
and I'm here to stay in compliance and make sure that everybody's happy through this process. I have to be vocal about what's happening at other
Yeah.
facilities.
Yeah, I get it.
Can I ask you, what's your address at your Hamtramck facility?
What was that? 2024 Kniff. Yeah, 2024 Kniff. Kniff? C-A-N-I-F-F. You can see it right
Thank
up
you.
there.
It's right off the freeway.
And then you see our Berkeley store, and it's all glass.
How many break-ins have you had there?
Only one, not through the front, and we had a car actually run through almost the front of the
That they were to break in? It wasn't an accident?
Yeah.
Okay. So why do you think, so are we going to be compared more on the Berkeley end of it? You might be an answer to this one, so.
I can't,
Just trying to reduce the opportunity.
Yeah,
and
I get it,
you're
yeah.
Right, so.
I get it. I'm trying to
And
make it a win.
separately, if
Win-win.
it's approved with the transparency, I think we'd like to talk to council about what we can do afterwards to look for some, waiver or something else if the planning commission can't do it. But we could take that up separate from the transparency question today if need be.
I just want to chime in here. One other store to look at. One other store to look at that we did do the faux window, even with the awning up top, is our Madison Heights location. Same exact thing we did there with the masonry behind it, and then a faux window, and it looks just like it is as a window.
Okay. Are you?
I'm trying to make it a win-win. I mean, obviously,
Yeah, no,
we
yeah,
want
we gotta
you to,
talk through it.
we want this to work. It just seems like it would be a waste of money to put something up with, fake windows because it just works
Yeah.
for the ordinance. So we want it to look good.
Oh, for
What would
sure.
you do if you didn't have, and I don't even know if we can make that kind of decision,
Yeah.
but what would you do if you didn't do the windows? What would it look like?
If I didn't do the windows?
Yeah, I mean, would you just leave it as the block?
No,
or-
I would have a custom builder build makeshift windows that would go up like picture frames and still show the same, like, provide the same benefit.
Why would you do that? Just because you want to?
Make it look more of a retail building. I mean, at the end of the day, that's what, yeah, beautification, but, it's, every site's so different. But, I mean, that's what I would do. Yeah. Again, I know that probably doesn't meet the spirit of the ordinance. Yeah. Clearly.
And I'm trying to not say, well, you have to do this because,
Yeah.
if you make it a beautiful building, that's what we all care about.
Yeah, of course.
We have to
Of course.
follow certain rules, and we can't
Yeah.
just make.
Certainly
blanket
be
decisions.
some they're proud to have customers and bring people in the public too. I mean,
Right.
that's Quality Roots everywhere they go. They maintain a very beautiful store and how it looks and try to keep them as close together as they can, but each site is different. So it's not like a Starbucks where you
It's
just
not a
plop
cookie
the
cutter.
same
Yeah,
thing down
it's hard.
everywhere.
I mean, look, your place on 14 Miles at Madison Heights, is
Yeah.
that what that is? It's
Yeah.
gorgeous, right? So,
Yeah.
I don't think you're gonna have the same break-in issue that you do in Hamtramck.
Yeah,
I mean, you've got
just have to be
Oakland County
vocal on it.
Sheriffs, you're on the border of Auburn Hills,
Yeah.
and, I just don't see it. But
Yeah, just gotta be vocal with it.
That's all I have to say.
Yeah, okay.
Madam Chair, may I speak to the subject?
Sure.
So just to be explicit, the code specifies that the glass has to be clear and untinted. And as I'm certified in crime prevention through environmental design, the intent of requiring that glass to be clear and transparent is so that pedestrians can see what's going on inside the building before they enter the building. So the mindset is that, number one, pedestrians that are walking past on the sidewalk feel safer when they can see people inside a building that they're walking past. And then number two, people that are walking into the building can see the conditions inside that room before they walk into the building. That's the intent.
Thank you for that clarification.
So there's 2 points with that. The CRA, and I understand, right? The Cannabis Regulatory Agency is trying to prevent that right now, so they're sending out notices to have people frost that glass. And then if there is a time when a vendor is doing a vendor day or things like that, there is chances that there's cannabis product there. It might not be an all-day thing, but, it's part of the secure facility. It's allowed to be exposed there, and it happens sometimes. If this is, again, I'm just here to be vocal about the things that are happening in these rooms.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Commissioner Norcross. I'm sorry, Commissioner Jackson.
So you started off, Michael, by saying that we aren't allowed to approve, the planning can't do anything with the process so far as what's required in the ordinance, correct?
Correct. There are, sections of the ordinance that say that the planning commission has the latitude to either increase or decrease one thing or another. This isn't one of those instances.
Right, okay, that's the first thing. Second thing is, what would be the process if they did want to get it approved?
I would imagine.
A change.
Applying to the zoning board of appeals.
Okay, and that process would take how long?
They meet monthly. We'd have to have time to send out public notice and, publish it in the newspaper no less than 15 days before the meeting. So sort of depending on the timing, it could be about a month or so.
Understood, month or so. Okay, so the point I'm making is this. If this isn't anything that we can do anything about tonight, first of all, and if it's going to take some time, let's just say mid-December, but the holiday is in there, so may or may not happen, And based on what we know may be happening in Lansing as we speak, with a potential moratorium happening, based on what we know or what I think we've been told, that's happening in Lansing, potentially come January. I don't know that, I mean, it's up to you. Obviously, you can go through the process of going to zoning if you want to. I just don't know that it's in your best interest based on what we know about time. So,
Yeah, we want to get approved as what we can get, and any other decision to do anything after would be after. So the point is, if transparent is what we need for tonight, we'll take it and we'll move forward.
we can't do anything about it.
Yeah, we'll
So,
do what we gotta
okay.
do. And, you know, what happens on a moratorium, it's still open-ended and there's a lot to happen, and current licensees may not be restricted like other new people, so.
I'm going to give Commissioner Shepherd the floor right now to add to that.
So this is a question for everybody, I think, but when you have transparency, can the bricks be right behind it? I mean, what's the distance that, like, if you were to just do a brick wall behind it?
You,
I
Is
think
there-
you
is
should
there a-
ask the city's attorney that,
Is that a
or the
question that
city's
you guys can
planning
answer?
manager versus
Or
the
Amy?
as you're speaking to that, I think the whole point of having the glass in front and having it frosted with brick behind it, there's no, well, I guess there is a clean way that you can do brick if it's on the facade. You couldn't inset the windows because if you had brick behind it and you had a space,
I guess my question is how big does that space have to be? I mean, it's an expensive way to make it work, but it gets these guys to be approved. Like, does that transparency have to be where you can see 6 inches in? Does it have to be all the way into the space? Because obviously it doesn't do what,
it is, but I think there's other options.
okay, like what?
Well, I'll talk about it when I get
You're on.
my,
Yeah,
my chance.
good.
Commissioner Norcross.
Oh, well, now, I'm of the opinion that, yes, we need to err to the side of caution and certainly safety. Being able to view what's going on in the store can be very important. So I would go with the ordinance as is written today and ask that the plans be executed so that they're in compliance with the ordinance.
After talking over with Michael real quick, we're gonna do that. We're gonna comply completely with this transparency requirement, and we will understand the time that it takes to do this, because this is gonna be a larger project than what's there today. This is construction again, and we'll have to understand those timelines. And hopefully the city is willing to work with us on the timelines, what's needed at the state level with that part of the project right now. But that would be out of your purview.
And if I may, I'm glad that you gave the address of your store on Kniff, using the Google Maps and the look around and everything. I think your operation, your choice of location on Walton is a stroke of genius. The amount of traffic you have coming past that
You were there today.
is going to
Could pull
be
out.
just phenomenal.
Yeah.
Now I'm hoping that no one, but anyway, you have a lot of opportunity of people coming past that, and I don't think it's as hidden or out of the way as the Kniff store. Not that the Kniff store is hidden either. I mean, you probably get some traffic there, but the volume of traffic and things you're going to have happening, people going back and forth on Walton is just phenomenal.
Yep.
Phenomenal. And that idea of being able to see in, and also for law enforcement to be able to see in, I think is a plus all the way around.
We'll do it, and if the CRA comes our way, we'll communicate with the planning department. That's what it is.
And thank you for choosing Pontiac.
Yeah, of course. We're excited. So to the second component, which is the fencing, you think we could have some leniency with that, so we don't have to start digging that up and extend that landscaping by 5 feet because I'm putting an aluminum fence instead of a masonry wall?
We can debate on that
Thank you.
after everyone's gone through and we've opened it up to public comments. Chris, were you done? I'm sorry.
No, I'm fine.
Okay. You can stay up there. I haven't talked yet.
That's all right.
Remember me?
I'm here, Sue.
You know I wasn't gonna let you off easy.
It's okay.
So, I took some notes today. First, your existing dumpster appears good, like the metal slats. They hold up, just paint it to match the building. I didn't see any notes
Okay.
on the, on your drawings. I may have missed them. They're pretty complete. Just wanted to say that. On the west side of the property, Michael, can you bring up the aerial photo? Because there's something else that I want to talk about. Well, go back one slide. Yeah. On the lower left-hand corner,
Yep,
you have an abandoned sign on your property.
correct.
You got a pole and a little square.
Yep.
That's gotta be removed. That's part of our ordinance. We can't have abandoned signs there, and based on your elevations, you're putting your logo on
Yep,
the parapet.
yep.
So,
We can remove that.
remove that pipe bollard and then
I think it's already
the
close.
surround. Now, one thing about that, as you notice, if you've been out there enough,
Yep.
is there pipe bollards below it.
Yep.
And that's out there for a reason. Last time you were here, I asked for pipe bollards in front of your gas meter.
Did they remember? They should be there on the plans.
Okay, I didn't see them anywhere. So that's,
Mike, you have the updated one with the,
there, that would be.
yeah,
if
it might not
appro-
be on the image, but I
Okay.
believe it's on the plan.
I mean, definitely that is to your advantage,
Yeah.
specifically if you're talking about safety
Yeah. I believe we have
and
4 bollards there.
as long as it's, shielded. And we've done that to other people, not just cannabis.
for
We
sure.
did it to a community service facility on, I think, MLK Boulevard, 673 MLK. So nothing that I'm not asking anyone else to do. Your air handling unit on the roof, you can see that from below. I believe that's in one of the conditions for approval, if I'm not mistaken. Because one of your plans shows the parapet going all the way down, but it stops. It doesn't go all the way down. So you're gonna have to put some sort of surround around that air handling unit
Yep.
on the roof.
Yep.
I have to say, I researched your company a little bit today. Your locations are very well done. Really like them, with the exception of Monroe. But,
Yeah. Wasn't my choice. We came
Yeah.
into that one. A little EFS action.
but other than that, they look good. Your logo is nice. The combination of colors, especially in a building like this.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you've got that masonry wall.
Yeah.
And the touch of wood at the top, it's nice. I agree with the staff report where with your windows, you're not gonna be able to see the product. You've got a drywall wall there, plus a bathroom, plus you've got your office there, whatnot. You talked about that faux wood at the top. Nice that you put that around the door, just to break it up a little bit. So I appreciate the
Yeah.
the extra effort
I
to
wish I was
make
more
it.
prepared last time. I apologize for that again.
No need to apologize. Just the extra effort to make it look better.
Yep.
As far as the fencing, at first I was on, no pun intended, but I was on the fence about this. I like the fencing that you have approved. At first I thought you had a masonry wall all along the back. And I thought that would be better, but actually I don't really think that's better, because for security reasons, if you get robbed, somebody hops the fence, you want to know which way they're going. And if it's a masonry wall, you're not going to know which way they went.
And then there's a drop.
Oh, yeah, and you have that significant drop.
20 feet.
So, just with the fencing, and when you wrap it around the side, I appreciate that too, because it separates your location from the next property next door. Just watch that, how far you bring it out on the, well,
The bottom, the south
east corner, yep.
Yep. It's
Yep.
pretty out right now, I think.
And if for any reason you change the fence that you're doing to something that's opaque, you've got to watch your driveway triangle. It's got to be clear. That, I definitely think the screening requirement on the loading docks should be waived. You put that in and it's just how do you maintain what's back there with the dumpster that's right there? And I think it creates a huge security issue. So the screening requirement on the loading dock, I definitely think should be waived. And in the spirit of the ordinance, I appreciate it, but you're really not, the trucks that are delivering your product aren't semis. They're box trucks or
Smaller than that.
kind of like the Amazon
vans,
vans,
yep.
whatever you want to talk to about that. The alley, they're a mess, and you probably will have to maintain that. I'm sure 10 feet of it is yours and 10 feet of it is the property owner behind you. The one thing that I did want to say, and this is more to my fellow commissioners, if you could go to the site plan that shows Walton Boulevard and Baldwin. Right there, okay. I'm sorry, this really doesn't apply specifically to your site. Well, it does, but it doesn't. One of the things that I wanted to note, in Pontiac, we have car accidents all the time. And we have some really severe accidents. We have fatalities and traffic. This is happening everywhere. And just for my fellow commissioners, if I could, I would ask you to get rid of one of those driveway approaches. And it would be the one on the west side of the building, because you're right up against that auto parts store. That auto parts store has a 61-foot wide approach. Yours is about 28. But if you look at all the approaches, and when I say approaches, I mean aprons, driveways onto Walton. On the north side of Walton, you have 8. On the opposite side of the street, you have 3. And I think this is something going forward we really need to start looking at as far as traffic patterns and things like that, because we're having significant issues there. So I just wanted to make that comment. So those are my comments. Back to the windows. You said 4 pipe bollards in the front. I think with the windows, you're not going to have the problems that with people trying to throw something through it based on the amount of traffic that Walton gets. You may want to add more pipe bollards so they literally don't drive through your
That's a good idea.
building. And especially with that gas meter on the front. You don't want to lose your investment, whether or not it's insured to the
I know.
hilts.
It's a good idea. It's a really
So-
good idea.
Those are my comments. I am going to open it up to public comment. If you want to make a public comment, please state your name and address for the record, and you have 2 minutes. Ms. Clark, 503, 506, Nebraska. What are you cooking?
Oh, a lot. So, Darlene Clark, 506 Nebraska. My concern, and the residents will be concerned as well. Off Walton, that's just a business district. Next door is the auto zone, which is business. And I don't even remember AutoZone having a break-in issue. And across the street, you have the little plaza over there But what my point I'm trying to make, they all have transparency windows. That law is in effect for a reason. I understand that you have had problems with your other facilities, a car running in, but thank you, Sue, for saying this is not Detroit, this is Pontiac. And it needs to be that transparency. Though you think it's going to be a problem, it's not, okay? You have to trust and I know you're a businessman and it's not too what you may be accustomed to in Pontiac because they're throwing these rules there. But the people of Pontiac, including our planning and every other board, the sincerity that they have for the residents is more protected than actually you. But you are a guest. So being a guest and an investment in the city, that transparency will help gain trust, if that makes sense. And just because I hit you on the left don't mean someone's not going to hit you on the right, okay? So I don't know how to say it, but thank you, planning, number one. But please stick to the rules that's up before you, because to modify that rule, you're going to open up for someone else to do the same.
Yeah, Carlton Jones, 1323 Oakline Drive. I want to first say that I really commend the Planning Commission. You know, I've sat in those seats before. You guys are really doing a thorough job of trying to making sure the requirements. But at the same time, I see you being willing to work with petitioners. And I want to say, from the last time we was here, this petitioner reached out to me with a very sincere heart about how he can really, truly incorporate people here in Pontiac. And I think they stand with integrity. I think they're willing to try to bend, as he said here. They may not want to, but they want to go ahead and get this done, and they're willing to comply. And I think at this particular time, when you get petitioners who come to the table like that, willing to work with local people, willing to comply, it should tell you something. These are people who we truly want to have in Pontiac. And based upon what I see and what I heard from them, I support the fact that they're willing to come in here and be a good business here in Pontiac. One of the other things, reached out saying, Carlton, how can we truly reach out and get local people? And I told them that we've got a process in place to do good vetting to get some good candidates. And they say, we want to do that. So I just commend you all, and I'm going to say this. I know a lot of you all got professional training, but after you go through the Planning Commission, you have the proper training to understand how to pass things like special exceptions. That is not necessarily the role of a council person. So I just want to, I want everybody to respect what planners learn to do, and this should not. I understand people got appeal rights, but it should be, some things should come to planning and get their blessings from planning before they go anything else. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Jones. I have a question for staff. With respect to the transparency ordinance, and if they're worried about break-ins, can they I want to say this the right way because I'm not advocating for the applicant, and I want to make sure that that is clear. If they met the transparency requirement with the clear windows in the front and they are still concerned with the security, there is nothing preventing them from literally putting interior bars on the inside, is there?
No, there's not.
Okay. What if they put something behind it that maybe is not as transparent, like screening behind it that still protects? Do you know what I'm trying to say?
I do know what you're trying to say. and I can't, I apologize, this isn't necessarily your question. And unfortunately, you know, I come here from Florida, where we have impact-resistant glass that's fully transparent.
I guess one of the options that I was thinking of is something that is, I work in the steel industry, and you can get metal that is, you know, laser cut or whatnot, and you can provide something behind it, so it still secures your building with those windows. And I'm sorry, on one of my comments, I forgot to say, on your drawing, I think it's A4.1, the underside of your awning is dark metallic green. That's can't happen. Okay, it says dark metallic green. The exterior can't have any green. I just wanted to point that out while I saw it on my notes. So I think that is an option, though, for you to put some type of screening back there. I mean, it should be secure enough. I don't think you're gonna have this people throwing things through there, especially if there's nothing accessible. Don't put any landscape rocks in, you know, the big ones, so. But anyways, do I hear any further questions from my commissioners? Commissioner McGinnis.
Just very briefly, because it hasn't been shared, part of the policy perspective about what even led this, it was not about trying to make it unrealistic or to create any safety issues. We wanted to make sure the city of Pontiac did not become home to bunkers for pot, just like we've seen bunkers for liquor, where you have these cinder block fortresses, it is communicating to the residents or anyone driving by, this community is not safe. And yes, the only things that we have here are things related to vices. Those are only businesses. So we wanted it so that way it would be attractive, it would be desirable. It was not meant to be restrictive or, you know, a burdensome. It was about making sure that the quality, the curb appeal and the quality added to the quality of life for us residents and the business corridors. We want Walton to be thriving for you and every other property member, property owner and every business owner. So that was the perspective, broadly speaking. So that way we didn't have, I think we all know, we saw what happened on 8 Mile. We did not want 8 Mile pot and liquor and strip joint, you know, like that kind of whole thing lit up with green, McGreeneyson and pot leaves. Like, so a lot of the ordinance.
And that was our intention with the faux window, because we didn't want to be we knew we didn't want to keep it like this. At the end of the day.
Can you go up to the mic, just so we can have you on record, that you're recorded? Thank you.
Yep. No, I think, and to your point there, that was the main reason why we kind of went with the faux windows, similar to some of our other stores. We don't want to be the store that's putting up gates at night. We don't want to be the store that's doing all that at the front door, right? This was just a safe way that we've looked at it, where it still looks like a window and the beautification is still there. But all in all, as we discussed, we're okay with, you know, of course, doing that window and coming up with a plan for the safety aspect of it.
Yes, and so having been on the city council, just want to give the perspective. It wasn't like we were trying to be unreasonable or trying to be create all these barriers. But we have seen in the city of Pontiac, there have been certain storefronts, their windows are completely blacked out. And it communicates to someone driving by, something shady is going on in there, or something that, you know, a resident wouldn't want to have around there. And we knew that wasn't going to be what these different, you know, both medical and adult use, that wasn't going to be the purpose. And we want to make sure that it was not conveying that. And I think we all can think about what we've seen in the city. It might even be marijuana-related functions, but it gives the impression that there's something illicit, illegal, desiring to keep, you know, prying eyes out. We saw that already before even this land use, this building and business use, and that was part of what we were trying to prevent or safeguard. And so as the years go on, we can always, as city decision makers, future city councils, can revise and amend it. The challenge is that ain't a quick process, and because it's such a legally sensitive industry, we don't want to start changing it towards this part of the, 10-yard line, and then all the other businesses say, what gives? You didn't create that. We jumped through those hoops.
Yep.
So that's kind of the challenge we're at.
I think we're already there, because you already kind of agreed with the transparency idea. I love Commissioner Sinclair's way to help, but I would hate to see you guys put up bars. You know, I mean, the
100%.
hope is that if something happens a couple times, then maybe you'll have to consider that, but hopefully you'll stick to the idea of keeping it transparent. You know, and I guess how I misunderstood some of the laws, I thought you weren't allowed to look in at all, but you're just not allowed to look in and see product. Is that correct?
It's yeah.
It's
That's what the
how
rules
they-
say, but then, a random agent might tell you something different from the regulatory.
Okay, so you're gonna deal with that if it happens,
we'll handle it.
but right now, you're not able to look in at product, but you're able, as our planning manager said, somebody driving by or walking up can see what's going on, they can see the security officers and everything else, so, but I think we're there, I think we're, you've already agreed with
Yep.
most of it, I think we just have to kind of agree on the back fence area.
And then I just have one more thing, if I may. Yeah. So, again, I brought this up at the last meeting, and, my hope and desire is to move through this process quick and with integrity. So with that, based on whatever, final decision we have today, which I hope is a positive one, the next steps is us finalizing a few steps with the clerk's office and the attorney's office, as well as working again with the building department. I believe it's not planning, I believe it's the building department, to come and approve our sanitation contract, to come and do the walkthrough on the insurance, and then to add language to our already given certificate of occupancy, which is to add the adult use language to it. So that's what I believe our next step is. With that, we would then naturally go and apply to the state. Will these requirements stop that from happening? Like, do I have to rush and do these windows in the next 30 days? Or is there, what I mean? Is there a grace period where I could have, I don't know. I don't know the right way to ask that, but.
As far as granting your final site plan approval, all you have to do is submit us drawings that are consistent with the motion that's made today. And then, yes, you would apply to the building permit, for your building permit.
Right.
You wouldn't have to require any other approval from the planning division. They're just gonna look and make sure that you have final site plan approval.
Isn't that enough? If we grant them final site plan approval tonight, isn't that enough for them to go forward with the state? Because we've granted it based on conditions.
I believe that they have a requirement from the clerk's office, which he already stated, but other than that, there's no other approval that's required from the planning department.
Okay, thank you.
We would just need to make sure we can get a C of O issued for the adult use, or at least a temporary one while we're finishing up on the rest of the project or something, that'll allow the state process to keep moving while that's
Correct.
done.
And that's a building department issue, right? I mean, can they get a C of O when they've opened up the side of the building? So.
Well, you already have either a permanent certificate of occupancy outside of the marijuana use, or they have a temporary.
Right, the one we have won't let us go forward because it doesn't have the marijuana use associated. So,
Understood.
Thank you.
I just want to clarify to Commissioner Shepard's comments. I am not an advocate of bars on windows. I am an advocate of nice things. I mean, you could even do a light gauge metal plate that's going to stop a rock. You could even do your Roots logo on there if you're concerned. Just some options. Or you could get something laser cut that's got a whole bunch of circles in it. Leaves you where you can see people in it, and it'll stop a rock. So that's just my concern.
No one's breaking it.
This store's gonna be looking at as close to our grocery store as possible with how it looks with that, with the updated plans. We're excited to get that.
Just for you, I looked at the parking lot, and I was looking at the parking blocks with respect to the building next door, and we're talking about vehicular, using vehicles to smash and grab, whatever. Because that approach is so wide, it's like 60 feet wide there. That gives them, if somebody wanted to, the one on the west side, if somebody wanted to, that gives them quite a bit of radius to turn around and just gun it and come in on the west side.
Microphone, please, sir.
Yeah, thank you, Chris.
Sorry, I've been there probably 10 nights over the past 30 days, just like watching traffic and doing what you guys were just, discussing. That business usually has all of the cars lined up there at the end of the night. But as you're saying that, maybe, and again, maybe a Ballard situation or things like that there might help as well.
At least, I think it's missing one,
So I'm adding it to that sign's not too far away. If I had like a little row of those, maybe 6 of them right there, that would probably stop that from occurring.
or at least one parking block, because you don't have a parking lot or a parking
Oh,
block
the blocks. I got it,
where,
yeah. Okay, I misheard you.
where your handicap spaces, where people are, the part
Yeah.
that's got the diagonal lines on it.
Yep.
The area where they can get out, you don't have a parking block there, which would allow someone to come
I see what you're
straight
saying.
through with no obstruction
I see what you're
right
saying.
there.
Yep.
So I would at least
Yep, no, I see what you're
add
saying.
one
That
there,
makes sense. Okay.
so,
Yeah, all right.
anyways. Anything further, Commissioner Jackson?
I'm all good.
Commissioner Norcross?
No further questions or comments.
Do I hear a motion?
All right, I'll go.
Remember what I wanted to add?
No, so I'm just gonna say with all of the amendments suggested, yeah?
I think we have to word that.
Oh, well, it was a lot. Does anybody have a list of amendments?
Okay. Yes, I think our future mayor could figure it out. He's pretty
He's
adept at doing that. So I think the motion needs to include waiving of the, well, that's in the approval, the conditions of approval. We had the screening, we had the wall in the back, we had the depth of the landscaping that was required. With that, I think, can you clarify on that, Michael, what you were asking for? On
For which
the-
ones? For the
rear
landscaping?
landscaping requirements?
Either, at the northwest corner, either increase the depth of the landscaping to the minimum required 10 feet if it's going to be a fence, or if the wall, if they choose to retain the wall there, just give us information about the height and the material and that kind of thing. And it can stay with the landscaping in that corner as is.
Okay, now, if we don't waive that, they're losing a parking spot. Do we have enough parking, and was the
Yes.
parking required? Okay,
Minus the one parking spot, they have exactly as many as the ordinance would require.
all right. So if we extend to 10 feet, they're gonna lose a parking spot. And in my opinion, I'm fine with the 5 feet. I think 10 feet in this parking lot is excessive, because where are you gonna put the snow? It's gotta go somewhere. You can plant that stuff and you're gonna push the snow all on it with salt in it. It's just gonna basically kill the product. So, I'm fine with waiving it. I don't know if the other commissioners are going to 10 to 5. Plus, you've got that alley back there that's got vegetation back there too that's already green. So,
The
You
three
follow me?
conditions that are on page 5 of this, I believe they summarize exactly what we've been speaking of. The transparency requirement, that will be required. Number 2 is the waiver of the screen
okay.
of the loading zone. And then 3, we're saying add approximately, well, it would be item B, I guess it would be of 3B, yeah.
Right,
And-
there are the options of either the A or B, the wall or the fence, and that, makes kind of a difference on the landscape in front of it, 5 or 10 feet of landscaping. Now, the planning commission, per the ordinance, can increase requirements for for landscaping, but cannot decrease. So if you want to waive the 5 feet, then they'd be required to retain the wall. I mean, if you want to allow just 5 feet of landscaping at that corner, they'd need to keep the wall. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
At the northwest corner.
Oh, that's right.
We're talking about a wall. We're not talking about a wall on our property. We're talking about the wall that drops 8 feet. That's what we're referring to right now. So, right?
Okay.
So there's no vertical wall
No,
that
there is.
is above grade?
Correct. There's nothing above grade.
Oh, it's just a retaining wall from the back of the property down to the alley?
Right.
I misunderstood the drawings then. I thought when it said wall,
That's why I keep trying to articulate. It's because there's a drop there. That's where this previous wall is.
oh,
Yeah.
okay,
It's
that
not
wasn't
above ground.
clear.
Yeah, it's not above ground.
Is a retaining wall?
It's above ground.
It's a retaining wall, so
Yeah,
really,
it's there.
you can't, if you plant there,
Well, the retaining wall's there, right?
right, if you remove the wall to plant, then you have to deal with erosion, and if you can't really keep it,
I'm trying to add a fence.
Okay, so it's either add fence or add a vertical wall. There's no wall above grade, above your property grade. Got it.
So you're suggesting adding a fence?
Adding a fence right there to the top of that. Beautify it. I don't want anybody, we'll clean this up. I don't want anybody looking back there.
It's a liability issue too.
It's
But-
crazy.
but you're saying that we can't waive the 10 feet requirement, that's what you're saying, correct?
Or is that considered a masonry wall right now?
It would have to be a vertical masonry wall above your grade at the back of the property. And you can maintain 5 feet of landscaping or the fence and pull the landscaping out.
So, again,
All right.
you got it. The property's so
How,
unique.
how tall is that retaining wall?
This one here?
Yeah.
I would say it's a little bit tall, probably a little bit taller than me.
How tall?
That tall?
Let's call it 6 feet.
It's not 8 feet.
Okay, so technically,
I was looking at it today, and I thought it was about the height of this
So-
separating.
technically, his property line goes to the midpoint of that alley. So really, he is in conformance with our ordinance if that is 6 feet tall at that point.
The alley is still an open right-of-way, though, so the property line does end at the wall, not in the alley. They're responsible for maintenance of that portion of the alley, but it's not part of their property. If the alley had been vacated, it would be theirs.
Okay, but at that property line then, if that's the property line, then that's 6 feet. And that would satisfy the buffer requirement at the property line of being 6 feet tall. So we could give them a 5 foot,
You want to do 5 feet of landscaping right there
Yes.
in front of a fence? I'm sorry to interrupt you.
no,
So
It's all right.
there is 5 feet right there.
Okay, so you already have it.
Yeah. From adding
You would
shrubs.
just build a fence there so nobody's falling off and
That's beautification. That was my intention.
So Chair Sinclair, you believe the wall that's there, the retaining wall that comes up to grade of their property is sufficient as a screen per the ordinance?
it's not sufficient as a screen, but it meets the buffer requirement because it's 6 feet tall. I mean, this is a unique situation because to ask them to put in that landscaping with that grade difference is, in my opinion, a waste of money, and you've got to put that snow somewhere.
I think we're on the same page, right? I mean,
Yeah. So
But he's
are-
saying we
are
can't
leaning
waive that
toward the
requirement
fence?
of the,
Are we
10
leaning
feet.
toward the fence?
Yeah, we can go to 5.
Yeah.
If they build a fence, we can go to 5 feet, right?
With a fence, it has to be 10.
It has to be 10.
And what if I just keep it as is?
So if you keep it as is, you'd
Well,
If you're adding a fence on top of the wall, isn't that just an extension of the wall, which you give them 5 feet, right?
I'm lost. I'm a.
okay.
Yeah, if,
step in on that one?
I'm also a little lost here.
think we know what's right, it's just we don't wanna end up.
I think the point is, I think all the commissioners are in agreement that we would go for a 5-foot landscape buffer instead of the 10 feet there with the fence, but you're saying that we can't.
Correct.
Oh,
Meaning we can't waive that, we can't do anything.
Right.
What if it's the wall that's considered the buffer, and then it's just an extension above the wall? Why
Right.
would they-
The
Why
fence
would they need
that's-
more landscaping?
He is
So we're-
buffering, he's
so-
meeting the buffer
So
requirement
we're not
with that
looking
wall.
to change what they need to do to lower it to 5.
So,
It's just
I'm sorry,
stays the way it
I'm
is.
sorry. Feel free to take that back to the podium. I don't want you
I'm
standing
sorry.
there. The microphone, go to the podium,
Yeah.
please. All right, thank you.
Can I intercede just briefly?
Thank you, Amy.
It says in the code that the height of walls shall be measured from the immediate ground level of the property on the non-residential side.
So then it wouldn't.
Wouldn't that be the base of the wall?
That would be the top of the wall, unfortunately.
But they don't own the alley unless it's been vacated.
I just suspected that the height of the wall, it would specify where the height of the wall is measured. And it says, the height of walls shall be measured from the immediate ground level of the property on the non-residential side.
All right. Do you know offhand how wide your parking spots are?
I believe the drawing shows them as 9 feet.
9 feet? On both sides?
Yes.
That doesn't help. Are you really attached to that parking spot?
Every spot matters.
How many spots do you have right now?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13.
Just to
Jake, did you have a clarification that you want to?
possibly, I'm just trying to make sure I understand the question before I ask it, so, or before I try to help this body answer their question. So there is a masonry wall that's more acting as a retaining wall, and it is that they are trying to put something on, or they're required then, because of the level of the plane, to put something on top of that. And their request is that it not be a masonry wall, that it be an alternative material, or,
And do we have to have 10 feet or 5 feet?
Basically, I think it's the landscaping requirement of the 5 feet versus the 10 feet.
so, in other words, whether or not they could not have it or have it, because I understand, just looking at the ordinance here, or the zoning ordinance here, they are right now, the minimum buffer requirement is such that they need a masonry wall there with the 5 feet. And that they are trying to determine if what? I'm just trying to picture this in my mind, because
We're trying to get around, I think, the 10 feet versus 5 feet. The 10 feet is with the fence. The 5 feet is with the masonry wall. Am I correct?
Correct.
I just want to make a point. The masonry wall that's there now, that's acting as a retaining wall, is approximately 6 feet, maybe 5 feet. And if they need a buffer of 6 feet tall, that means the people behind them are looking at an 11-foot masonry wall. That, it's not very aesthetically pleasing.
You're saying the fence doesn't, adding another 5 feet of fence doesn't suffice.
If we go with the fence, then we have to have the 10 feet of landscaping, which then they lose a parking spot.
How many feet is it now, Sue? Can you tell?
He's trying to put 5 feet in there. Ooh. I think it's on the smaller
Do you have
ones.
an answer for this, Craig? Like, how many feet do you have there? Okay.
The alley doesn't butt right up against the wall. And so if we're talking where the property line is for it starts at where his property line begins, which is several feet to the wall. That's what he's showing there.
Showing the drop.
I have our survey shows that the wall is on our property,
Like, on it.
on the updated
On
survey.
the other side of that into the alley, so it's pretty.
I mean, it's right on that property line.
Isn't it like a foot? Okay.
So, Madam Chair, was your interpretation if the retaining wall that starts at the base of the alley is on their property, that might resolve the matter because it's their?
It's
Wall.
acting as a buffer, but Amy is saying that it's measured on the non-residential side. So you've got your wall here, and the grade on this side is at the top of the wall. So it, at that point, no longer acts as a buffer, but on this side.
Because
where-
that's the residential side?
Yes.
Across the alley is a residential
Yes.
zoned property.
Right.
So all right. I don't think this was written with this kind of topography in mind.
And there's nothing we can do.
So back up though,
And if, even if we put some screening or something atop the existing masonry wall, that still does not meet the,
So,
Again, it depends on the screening. So if it's masonry, then they could keep the landscaping in that corner as it is. If they want to do a fence, then it needs to extend out into that one parking space for a minimum of 10 feet.
So, just
Jay,
to elaborate on
Yeah,
that point, sorry, I just wanted to go back and forth and confirm that I understood what it looked like before I answered this from a legal perspective. So, per the masonry wall section here in the ordinance, which would be, just confirming I have the right, 4.405, C3, there is a provision that says alternative materials with planning commission approval. The planning commission may, at their discretion, approve a fence wall of a different material instead of the required masonry wall. So with the masonry wall, as this is not, as this body I believe is saying, does not qualify as that, as this is a retaining wall. If they wanted to put a fence on top of that and maintain the 5 feet with this body's approval, you can bypass the masonry wall and just make it a fence.
did you catch that, Mike? Beautiful. I didn't make the no motion. Oh, yeah, you are the pro.
And I can assist with that if,
Yeah. Amy, I just want to thank you for the report. I mean, it's very thorough, and I appreciate the intent behind it, and I hate to, this is a unique site, site feature that generally doesn't happen. I mean, that's a significant drop. I never would have thought that it was back there. No. Right. Okay, order, Miss Clark, please. Thank you.
I just want to make sure I got the lines. Okay, so
Are
this
you
would
going to make a motion?
potentially.
All
Let me
right.
see.
Thank you.
So we are looking at what would be then the third recommendation that needs to change. Am I right in stating that? Okay. And this third recommendation would need to state, let me see, it wouldn't be repair and maintain the masonry wall alongside. So it could be the words that says so repair and maintain the masonry wall alongside the alley north of the property in its northwest corner, or some other fencing material, like would that suffice? Or some other material approved by the planning commission?
Should we note that zoning section?
So I believe in the motion, it should say.
Thank you.
Repair and maintain the masonry wall along the alley north side of the property at its northwest corner. And as an alternative to building a masonry wall on top of that to meet the requirements per the buffer types. And I'm gonna say all this, but I think it probably would make sense if I type it out and then, I don't know, hand my laptop to you.
Fair enough. All right.
Alternative materials are pursuant to section 4.405 C3C. The Planning Commission approves the alternative use of a fence as a different material instead of the masonry wall. So I don't know if you want to hold on a second or move on to the next thing. I can type that up and go back and add that to the motion to approve.
Yeah, okay. We want to make sure we get it right. So that's going to replace the third recommendation, right? So 1 and 2 are good, and then that would be the third recommendation, correct?
Correct.
All right, good.
Removal of existing sign.
Okay.
Removal of existing sign.
I was going to suggest add to the masonry wall along the north of the property at its northwest corner, a 5-foot extension, or add on top of the masonry wall.
If he
We'll see, we want to have that, a total of 10 feet or 8 feet?
5.
just an additional 5, but I think we need to state exactly what he repeated.
Okay, because I thought we were going to add to the existing wall.
Right.
Yes.
And that's, yeah.
And to
A
create
fence.
a fence. And then the other important feature of the fence is the height above the ground. That it has to have a certain height above, what is that, normally 8 foot? Okay.
No.
So let me track these other ones right quick, if that's okay. So removal of the existing sign, got it, what else? Barriers.
It's in your plans, but
Barriers, blocking, oh, yes.
additional pipe bollards to shield gas meter. What does that say? Yeah.
No. Okay,
Underside of awning.
can't be green. Okay,
Can't
so
be green.
color of, okay. Okay, what else?
How tall is your fence that you want to do? Eric?
Do you have your drawings that you can access? A 4.1. If you can pull that up. where's that? Oh, oof.
Is this another one that you're adding?
No, we're debating the height of the fence. What does it say? 60. Okay, so the height of the fence that's on the drawings is 5 feet. I'm fine with that.
Does that get us past the attorney said?
The height of the fence is 5 feet.
5 feet's okay?
That's what it says. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. That's cool.
I'm good.
All right.
Yep.
Were those the only additional three?
Yes.
Anything else that I'm missing? Okay, so let me, before we get started, recommendation 1 is going to be recommendation 2. I have a new recommendation 3, removal of the existing sign, additional ballards to shield gas meter, and then address the color of the underside of the awning. Is that it?
Can I correct you?
Yep.
It's bollards, B-O-L-L.
So what did I say?
Ballards.
Okay. Okay.
B-O-L-L-A-R-D.
Got it. Are we all good?
And that includes the waiving of the loading zone screening?
Yeah.
That's all
That's,
assumed, right?
is that in there?
I don't know that that's in there. All right, so waiving of, what was that, Tim?
Waiving the screening of the loading zone. I think Sue had mentioned that earlier.
Yep.
Waiving of screening of loading zone?
And we don't need to say anything about the
That
trespass.
would become, what was number 2, would be number 3.
Oh, yeah, that's already there, right, okay, that's already there, that's number 2. Grant the waiver of screening of the loading zone, okay, perfect. All right, I'm gonna give it a try. Try my best to be Commissioner McGinnis.
Do I hear a motion?
All right, I have a motion. All right, so, let's start with this. I move to approve the requested final site plan for a retail sales, small indoor, up to 5,000 square feet use at 41 East Walton, based on the findings of fact identified in the staff report and with multiple conditions outlined, which include Jesus Christ. All right, I'm going to start over, y'all. I'm sorry. Give me a second. Let me add more to it. All right.
This is what happens when we have a special meeting mid-month.
Okay. That's all good. So I move to approve the requested final site plan, FSPR 25-005, for retail sales, small indoor, up to 5,000 square feet use at 41 East Walton, based on the findings of fact identified in the staff report and with multiple conditions outlined, which are the following. Number 1 would be to enforce the transparency requirement. Number 2, grant the waiver of screening of the loading zone. Number 3, repair and maintain the masonry wall alongside the alley north of the property at its northeast corner, and at the existing masonry wall, a vertical extension of 5 feet to meet buffer requirements, but allow for the use of a fence material in lieu of a masonry wall pursuant to section 4.405 C3C of the zoning ordinance. Removal of the existing sign, additional bollards to shield.
I apologize. Maybe just tack it on at the end. It should be the northwest wall. I apologize if I put a typo in.
Okay. All right. Let me fix that, y'all. Try again. All right. All right, I'm gonna try again, yeah? All right. Thanks for bearing with me. But we want to make sure we get it right. So,
We're prepping you for city council.
clearly. All right, let me make sure I got my paperwork in order. Okay, making another motion. Clearing the deck. I move to approve the requested final site plan number FSPR 25-005 for a retail sales small indoor up to 5,000 square feet use at 41 East Walton, based on the findings of fact identified in the staff report and with multiple conditions, which are as follows. Number 1, enforce the transparency of requirement. Number 2, grant the waiver of screening of the loading zone. Number 3, repair and maintain the masonry wall alongside the alley north of the property at its northwest corner, and add to the existing masonry wall a vertical extension of 5 feet to meet buffer requirements, but allow for the use of a fence material in lieu of a masonry wall pursuant to section 4.405C3C of the zoning ordinance. Number 4, removal of the existing sign on the property. Number 5, additional bollards to shield the gas meter. And number 6, address the color of the underside of the awning. Not to be green.
Do I hear support?
I'll support.
Roll
Chris, do the hard
call,
work.
please. Good job, Commissioner Jackson.
Commissioner McGinnis,
Yes to approve.
Commissioner Shepard,
Yes to approve.
Commissioner Northcross,
Yes to approve.
Vice Chair Jackson,
Yes to approve.
Chair Sinclair.
Yes to approve.
Motion passed unanimously.
Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it. Oh.
Turn the microphone on. I don't think the people heard that. Huh?
Everyone hear me now?
Yeah,
Yep.
All right, now I just
louder,
want to say
please.
thank you to the planning commission, of course, and a big kudos to Michael Beckshard and his team over there at the planning department. They were definitely an amazing team to work with, and we look forward to opening up here in the city of Pontiac. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Where is my agenda? Do we have any new business? The proposed,
I just wanted to let you know that we put the agenda for next year on, or the dates for next year's meeting on the agenda, but we forgot to put this in the packet for you. We just realized this, and I think that that's because we didn't plan on having this meeting, so the memo that we created is dated December 3rd. In light of that, I would like to ask you all to consider for the next regular meeting in December to look at dates that you could consider for possible second meetings within a month if we have to have special meetings.
so you're looking at additional meetings for the month of January?
No, throughout the year, just looking at your schedules to let staff know dates that you might be available, or like guidelines. Would you be available for like the third Wednesday of the month for special meetings generally?
Okay.
That way there's some consistency and continuity. Okay.
Correct.
So third Wednesday doesn't conflict with anything, any other meetings? Okay.
Yeah, that would be the alternate date. We're maintaining the first Wednesday. We're proposing maintaining the first Wednesday as the regular meeting dates.
Okay. And do you want us to revisit this at the December meeting? All right.
Yes.
Do you have anything else? For
That's
new
all.
business? Okay. Staff communications. City council update. Here we go.
Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. I'll try and power through a whole bunch since we've last met that are related to planning, land use, and development. So the city council did approve an obsolete property rehabilitation district, or OPRA district, for the entire Huron corridor. So think basically from the vacant apartment building just east of Pontiac General Hospital at Green Street in Huron, all the way to Telegraph. That whole stretch now on both sides is now an Oprah district to try and revitalize a lot of vacant buildings, existing buildings. And specifically, an exemption certificate was granted for 35 South Johnson, a former medical office building just across from Pontiac General. We'll track to see how that comes into shape. The City Council has waived certain fees on our fee schedule for special exceptions for religious institutions. So that way they don't have to be charged if they are bringing forth a special exception request moving forward. There was a residential housing facilities district established for 28 North Saginaw, the former Pontiac State Bank building in downtown Pontiac, as well as a specific request for that Public Act 237 about residential housing for the conversion from an office building for residential. The City Council has granted some drainage access. Oakland County Water Resources Commission is doing wetland restoration work at Murphy Park. So think about one where the sort of water creek runs alongside the south part of the park, but also where it opens into the wetland. There's a lot of restoration work that's underway as well. There have been 5 new downtown business openings that took place yesterday. A few of you were there at some or all of them, and there are 5 more scheduled for next month on December 10th. The city's Parks and Recreation Master Plan is a 5-year master plan that is being updated right now, and there is a public hearing. It's posted, a draft is posted. We welcome feedback from commissioners and community members. There will be a public hearing about that December 16th ahead of City Council voting to approve it. It's taking the existing plan that was adopted 5 years ago, just updating what changes and improvements have been made, adding what we know about future improvements coming, as well as the new downtown city park, work in progress, but we welcome feedback. The City Council is also considering changes to our community development block grant funding for a down payment assistance program. We've approved some of these elements, but to support first-time home buyers in the city of Pontiac with down payment assistance. A community benefits agreement, or CBA ordinance, has now been adopted just a few days ago, so that'll be going into effect in coming days. The Marijuana Business Commission, which hears appeals related to adult use marijuana businesses, the mayor did finally make those appointments. They have held 2 meetings, including earlier today. I don't know the outcome of it, so they've been able to actively function, and at City Council on Monday, we approved their proposed rules so that they can be up and operating. Carnival Market at 1075 East Walton, they had come here for a special exception. It was denied by the Planning Commission. It's essentially an expansion of their market, adding an automotive-related fuel stations to the corner opposite where their existing plaza. They own the Dogwoods and Carnival Market. So I don't know how much the planning manager wants to go into this, but she's been doing some bang-up work about making sure that we're being compliant and following the law. There's just unique nuances to have the City Council being the body they appeal to, which is what they've done. They are appealing to the City Council. We had a first reading but postponed, or we had that consideration this week, but we have postponed it for further consideration. Is there anything further you want to say at this point, or we can let Planning Commission know that more information is coming on that front?
So I did speak to the applicant. I was directed by the city attorney that when the item goes in front of council, or any item that goes in front of council for an appeal of the decision of the planning board, City Council is not supposed to consider any additional information. They're only supposed to consider the information that was presented to you all. We have been in discussions with the applicant's representative. They may be choosing to generate additional information, and that would require them to come back to this body, just so you're all clear.
Can I add something?
Sure.
I did not watch the entire city council meeting, but I listened to the applicant's legal representative speak, and I know I've mentioned this before, and I don't like the disconnect between the council and the Planning Commission. I really wish on projects that are significant like that one, that the city council representative is here to hear the residents' objections and whatnot. And maybe, Chris, you can do this going forward, well, depending on, if you're our representative sitting here. But one of the things that was stated, and the reason why I guess I'm bringing this up is there's no dialogue between the commissioners and the city council unless if you know them personally. There's really no, why did we do what we did? I know, Mike, you alluded to some of it. And I don't know if it's something that I am allowed to speak on at city council meetings, but one of the things that I guess I took a little bit of offense to, not maybe offense, but we sit here and I think of all the meetings like ZBA and HDC, we sit here the longest. And here it is, we had 2 items on the agenda. It's already 10 to 8 and we're still here. Part of it is my fault. But one of the things that was said at this meeting, and this is no reflection on the planning department. I know you guys have had changes in jobs and things like that, but clearly it was stated in the meeting minutes from, what was it, the 13th, whatever meeting it was in October where they came to us. We hired a consultant to come in here and review this plan, and the specific comments that he made and that are in the meeting minutes, Consultant Carlisle reviewed the site in its context, including traffic and adjacent uses, in its analysis and noted significant concerns regarding the preliminary site plan. But the applicant stated that nothing of substance, had multiple reviews, and to me that's not accurate. And it doesn't foster confidence in the planning commission and what we debated to the city council. I would like to see the city council comfortable, and this is not a reflection of you, Mike, obviously, because you've sat here and debated with us. I would like to see the city council confident in our decisions that we make here, because I'm just seeing a disconnect, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Hopefully I was clear. Those are my comments on that.
Madam
that
Chair,
specific.
I wanted to address that and let you know that we were directed by legal to provide 2 resolutions, one to overturn and one to uphold.
I saw that. Thank you.
The one to overturn included a condition that addressed the fact that the Planning Commission did not approve the preliminary site plan, and if that resolution were approved, the applicant would have to return to the Planning Commission to address the preliminary site plan.
Okay. And we never received a traffic study.
You are correct.
So I want the city council to be confident in our decision that we're not so different in our voting, I guess, in our decisions. So that's just my comments on that.
Well,
I'm sorry, Mike.
Well, one more thing before we move on. We'll make it quick. Madam Chair, the other thing to consider is, like, businesses are going to do what they're allowed to do, which is what's in the best interest of their business.
Right.
And so our ordinance or charter or all of the above allow for the appeal process to go to city council in the first place, right? And so maybe it's the root of the issue, of the process, and not necessarily the business doing what they think is best, because they're only going to do what we allow for businesses to do within the ordinance and the laws that we provide. So I say all of that to say, I'm not saying that it's broken. I'm just saying, let's address the root of it if we're going to address anything. So that's it.
Thank you. I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
Continue, Mr.
It was
Commissioner
relevant.
McGinnis.
It was relevant. So
Thank you.
the point being that the applicant may or may not choose to keep going with the standard appeal process, or may want to introduce more information, we will find out as that applicant. But I appreciate that the planning manager was being alert, being astute, and really trying to sort of adapt to what's unfolding. Part of the challenge with a special exception is that there's these 7 standards, right? And so in other cities, their appeal goes to the courts. So a business will be able to appeal one way or the other. The way Pontiac has it set up, we could debate if that's good or bad. It goes to the city council. Some will go to the courts, and if they find that the planning commission did not make an adequate case, that it didn't do one of those 7 standards, they could legally say, you're overturned. You know, special exceptions granted, you weren't making. So that's something that we'll always have to keep this and future planning commissions with the legal representation for the city, so that way, whatever decisions we make, yay or nay, that they're backed soundly by, you know, law, that no matter what way that appeal might happen, it stands up, it stands the test of time. So thank you for all the work that everyone's done on that. There's a few different rental property ordinance changes that the city council has made in terms of also requiring written leases being provided to tenants, that, you know, written copy, and other standards that were added to the existing tenant safeguards and protections that city council has added over the last few years. Our city charter that was revised last year requires certain city documents be available in Spanish. So we voted this week to have an ongoing service contract because we were hitting the price limits to have those translations done, so that way we're complying with that. This is one of many, but this is of course a exciting and dynamic board and commission of the city. But boards and commissions, if there's any residents that are interested, please express your interest, submit your application. The next mayor and city council will be making a lot of decisions and appointments in the coming months. And I raise that to say, please share your willingness or interest to remain on the planning commission. So just we can have those conversations. I just want to flag that. A number of you, your terms aren't up anytime soon, but for those that are, we can have those conversations, so that way we can hit the ground running in the new year. And then for time, I'll just leave it at that. But so in the last few weeks, those are items related to land use planning, all that good stuff.
Thank you. Commissioner McGinnis, City Council President McGinnis.
Thank you. And I should state that this will be my second to last meeting. There will only be one. The state law only allows one elected official. So that will mean that December will be my last meeting, because there would be 2 current elected officials, and the state enabling legislation doesn't allow that. So thank you for, I'll say it again next month, but thank you for the collaboration and brain power, collective brain power that's made a lot of these decisions. I've learned a lot over the last 4 years, so thank you very much. We've made a lot happen.
Can you sit in for difficult motions?
I can.
I did one tonight.
Well, yeah.
You got it.
It's getting there. But I do want to invite the community. We anticipate that the swearing-in, celebration, and inauguration ceremonies will be on New Year's Day, January 1st, which is a Thursday, and that will be at 11 o'clock a.m. at the Pontiac High School auditorium. They have renovated the auditorium at Pontiac High, so the community is invited and welcome to that. After the swearing-in, celebration to follow, or reception, 11 a.m. City council members' terms begin at noon that day, so, you know, gets the swearing-in done, and then the mayor's term, based on law and what's been shared with us, that would begin January 2nd. So that's what we got.
Thank you. Do we have any discussion? Our next meeting is December 3rd. Do we have any discussion items from commissioners? Commissioner Norcross?
Yes, 28 North Saginaw, that raised an item of a memorandum of understanding that I thought was lacking in terms of a statement of the deliverables. There were a number of items asked from the city council in terms of approvals that would allow 28 North Saginaw to function. I raised the question, I know another person raised the question about, well, what are we getting? And I guess it's not standard procedure, but it would really like for, in the future, for us to start looking at some of the deliverables that are going to be brought forth on different agreements and things. And it would be great for us to see those memorandums of understanding here on the council, on the commission too, if possible. So I just raised that. Sure. Because we should be that voice, we're supposed to be the voice of the people, bringing in a number of different viewpoints and advantages and thoughts and experiences to come together and make a collective decision, yea or nay, that is then used to advise the city council about their next steps. But it would be great if we knew exactly everything that was, not exactly everything, but if we had an idea of what the benefits are going to be. We were asking the city council to see if they could fold that into some of their decisions.
Thank you.
Things like a memorandum of understanding.
Thank you, Commissioner Norcross. Commissioner Jackson, do you have anything?
I'm all good. Thank you.
Okay, I am going, Commissioner Shepard.
Goes along with, I think, what Mr. Northcross was saying. And maybe I interpreted it wrong, but one thing we don't talk about very much, and it's not really our place necessarily, but the tax base. Like, everybody asks, like, what are they going to do for us? That 28 North is a $15 million project. I don't know if he got an Oprah. I don't remember the whole story. But let's say he's going from paying $30,000 a year, is what was probably the last 20 years, to paying $300,000 a year. So that pays a lot. So so I don't, and this isn't directed necessarily at you, but I think a lot of our, a lot of times we don't notice or we don't talk about, and that's not really for us as planners to necessarily talk about, but we don't look at the future. Like even this project, this gas station, I think I heard they're $8 million or something like that. But if they're not asking for an Oprah, that's a good $200,000 or $300,000 a year. So, it doesn't mean we approve it because of that. It's just that has to be part of the conversation, I think. So that's all.
I agree. It does have to be part of the conversation. I think we should look at all aspects. I think in the past we've tended to have kind of a myopic, very narrow vision, and we often only look at the economic portions and the economic benefits, but we should also look at the larger benefits. And we may have to start to do cost benefits and also other competitive types of opportunities, that once a piece of land is used, it's there, And if there was something that could have been better or given some other types of benefits, that's excluded. So yeah, it gets to be it gets to be a kind of a involved situation, but we are talking about a large city, a city that's growing, a density that's getting a lot larger. So there's a number of things I think we have to start to put in place to make sure that, given what's available to us at the time that we're making the decision, we're making the right decisions.
Thank you, Chris.
Information.
Commissioner McGinnis, do you have anything further?
No, not present.
Okay,
Just that I'm really grateful that Planning Manager Bavin is here, and she's really hitting the ground running. The Plan Division is benefiting greatly, and I hope that the planning staff concurs, but all indicators are very, very positive and favorable for the citizens of Pontiac.
Yeah, I have to agree. Couple things.
I agree as well.
If we can have either Michael or Amy, if we can have just a kind of a rundown of the community benefits ordinance. I know I have some hesitancy about asking certain things because legally I don't know if I am allowed to ask those questions of an applicant. So if we could get a synopsis of the community benefits ordinance. I'm not asking Commissioner McGinnis because I know our next agenda is packed and he will not be here after that, unfortunately. But if you could do that, I think it would benefit us a lot. The other couple things I have are kind of random. I've done 4 cleanups on Huron since, I think, September. And Commissioner McGinnis, Mayor to be, can you review our agreement with the tow truck operators that clean up the accident sites after an accident happens? Because what I'm finding is car parts along everywhere. And if our agreement with them is to clean up the site completely, I mean, I know there's going to be certain small items, but it's kind of difficult to throw away a bumper at times. So that's one thing. Second item kind of is related to that is, again, traffic. We have accidents, and like on Orchard Lake Road, a lamppost completely sheared off. It hasn't been replaced. The bottom of the lamppost is there. The car also hit 2 brick columns at a historic home, Wendell Woods' home, and they haven't been repaired. That should be the responsibility of the insurance company of the vehicle that did the damage. So how are we getting that information? Because this isn't the only thing. We've got our master plan for the parks coming up, and we have Indian Village Park as one of our parks. They just took out the brick wall there on the 5th, and I did FOIA to try and find out the information regarding that accident, and they said they don't have an accident report, except I have pictures. And it completely took it out, and that's part of the proposed master plan. Why should the city incur the cost of repairing things that are being destroyed by accidents? And it's all over the place. So those are my comments, and I just want to wish everyone a happy Thanksgiving. I will be going to 506 Nebraska to eat. So you're welcome to join me. And do I hear a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Support?
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye.